No plan survives first contact with implementation. I thought about a lot of ways of how I wanted to open this video, and I think that's a good place to start. Both because it's a phrase that I think is really important for a healthy and growth-focused mindset, both in life and how we approach things, but also because it's very applicable to video games, both from a development standpoint and both in how we approach it as consumers and how the devs approach in making it. That is to say that if you approach things early on in their first implementation and then take your time to go onto social media and threaten developers, be hateful towards developers, or just take your time to make the general climate on the internet a worse place, I personally find you to be, well, frankly, a shithead. Just do me a solid. We're all people at the end of the day. Video games are here for our enjoyment. Developers work very hard so that we have an outlet for our daily expressions. And just keep in mind that the most viable path forward for Destiny to be the game we all want it to be is for feedback to always be concise, constructive, and most of all, courteous, so that the issues can be targeted as fast as they can be. Anyways, with that out of the way, we are one day into Iron Banner revamp in Destiny 2, and yeah, things have been interesting. We have a lot to talk about today, so make sure you take a second, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate you guys very much. Let's start off with Rift. Rift is back, and while definitely flawed, I actually think there's quite a lot of hope here. Initially, I wanted to be more negative about Rift, especially because early on, the feedback from the community was not very favorable, but I think as the day has gone on, as people kind of settled in, I think we all realize that Rift definitely has issues, but the game mode's interesting, and I think it has a lot of potential. Let's first start off with maps. This time around, we're playing Rift on Convergence, Bannerfall, and the newly added Disjunction. And what's interesting is that Convergence and Disjunction are maps that are not thought of very fondly in Sixes, especially regular control, because they play very stagnant, very campy, very lane-dominant playstyles, and they get rather boring. But what's nice is that Rift is an objective game mode where the objective is constantly moving around the map, around the spark, so there's always a nucleus of action that's constantly shifting. That means that people aren't as incentivized to just kind of camp lanes and play back. They want to iris down to the spark and funnel around that action. That means that the map is almost constantly moving through different hot points, initially in middle where the spark spawns, and then wherever what team captures it takes it. This creates a lot of concentrated fighting in areas of these maps that frankly we don't see in regular control, and that's really awesome. I mean, a special shout out to whoever decided to use Bannerfall, because Bannerfall might be one of the most perfect maps for Rifts that I could have imagined. The extra buildings, the back lanes, the hallways, these things usually go absolutely underutilized in a regular game of control, but here they're wonderful for breaking up the long sightlines and breaking up sniper control and allowing you to flank with the spark or set up traps. Like, it's really actually a perfect map for this game mode, and it plays wonderfully. And all this is really good when you get a good lobby and you're not having to deal with some of the issues associated with Rift. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the actual game mode and the rule set. The problems with Rift are pretty straightforward. Lobby balancing can be a nightmare, the res timers are too long, it's far too easy to snowball, and the game mode takes too long. The length of the game can be kind of frustrating at times, because we're playing to a maximum score of 5 dunks. It can take quite a while sometimes to get a dunk off in the first place, leading to a lot of stalemates, especially in balanced lobbies. And then you add onto it this weird round-based system that Bungie seemed to have kind of like forced into the game mode, where after a spark is dunked, your screen goes black, everyone's reverted back to their spawns, and like a new round begins. But it's not a new round, it's the same 10-minute timer, it's just like an artificial reset to prevent further snowballing. I understand the intent here, because snowballing is an issue, there's a lot of heavy ammo, the respawn timers are long, so if a team gets control of heavy, they start getting advantages in spawn because you're able to chain kills. suddenly you can absolutely dominate a lobby if you're not able to hit some kind of reset button. Obviously, a first thing that could solve this, can we reduce heavy, please? It doesn't need to happen every round, Bungie. We don't need 6 heavy spawns in a game. I do not understand the insistence around this. Heavy goes to everybody who wants it. It's too frequent, it's too powerful, and it is a spanner in the works. It just holds the game back. Alright, my rant about heavy aside, the respawn timers are definitely a problem. A 10-second respawn is just too long. Even with res enabled, it just takes too long. Especially if you're not playing stacked. Blueberries aren't going to get reses. Sometimes you're just stranded and you're not going to get resed regardless. And waiting 10 seconds, it's just too much. And then it adds on to the snowballing problem, right? If a team gets a team wipe, they have 10 seconds to haul ass and dunk the spark. That's basically a round win in most cases. So teams that are stacked and playing against worse lobbies will win the first team wipe, get the spark, usually have a 2 or 3 man advantage to push and usually secure the round. By that point, the enemy team that lost the initial fight in mid usually can't come back. Keep in mind also, circling back to the heavy thing, if you win the first initial gunfight and get man advantage, you also get heavy advantage, further enabling the snowball. Basically, when Rift plays bad, it plays really bad. And the stomps are quite miserable at times. But honestly, if you fix the res timer, maybe figure out a better solution for this round-based system, and then just kick heavy out of the game. When it works, Rift works fantastically, and I don't want to take away from that. It is a fun game mode, it just has a few big hitches. Alright, that out of the way, I wanted to talk a little bit about loot in Iron Banner. We released a video today, or well yesterday when you're watching this, about god rolls that you're going to want to chase in Iron Banner. And while yes, I do play up my excitement in videos because that's just what you do when you make YouTube videos, I was genuinely excited to go out and grind these god rolls, and I was expecting to have to just get a random drop and then be able to start umbral focusing these new weapons right away. That is not the case. You have to grind an entire reset's worth of Iron Banner reputation to unlock the Hero's Burden SMG. You need to get 10, I believe rank 10 or rank 11 to get the Wizened Rebuke. The best players in the world, Frostbolt, ZK Mushroom, those guys played 10 hours straight. And we're talking like 50 and 0, 0 losses, stacked to the gills to get a full reset done. Man, it's so, I hate to be this way. It's unreasonable. The loot system is bad. Most players are gonna take more than one Iron Banner event just to unlock the new gear this season. And there's only 2 Iron Banner events. Unless there's like triple Iron Banner rank towards the end of this week, a lot of players are gonna get the new SMG, and it's by far the most worthwhile thing to chase in Iron Banner. And I would consider that to be a massive, massive failure of the system. The whole point of reworking Iron Banner and getting rid of tokens was to curb RNG and make the game mode feel more rewarding, and drops are still too infrequent, Iron Engrams take too long to get, and then you have to play a full reset of Iron Rank Reputation just to get the new stuff. I would consider all of that to be a failure of the new system. Bungie, I do have to ask, I don't know why we are being so stingy with drops. If Iron Banner is to be more like a seasonal event like Guardian Games, then it needs to be more rewarding. When Guardian Games was here, you could go play an hour of Crucible and just get silver medallions, and come back and get, on average, like 4 or 5 rolls of the Taito SMG. I can go play an hour of Iron Banner and maybe get 2 Iron Engrams if I'm lucky, and still not be close to getting the new SMG yet. That is just far too stingy for an event that's only here for 1 week at a time, 2 times a season. Unfortunately, Iron Banner went from creating a sense of fear of missing out, or FOMO, due to scarcity, to now making FOMO through a sense of time investment. The average player is not going to play enough to get these new drops, and that I think will be a massive issue. So yeah, hopefully we can get that fixed. Sorry to end the video on such a dire note, but that loot system is very problematic, and I had to call it how it is. If you guys have played Iron Banner this week, let me know how you're doing in the comments down below. Let me know your experiences with Rift. If you've managed to get anything new, maybe you've grinded out more rank than I have, let me know some of those god rolls in the comments down below. Make sure you take a second, like the video, subscribe as well, because it helps out immensely. Me and Gumi are working our asses off to get this channel going. We're almost at 6,000 subscribers, which means we're one more step towards 10,000 subscribers. So every little subscription counts. Maybe we'll see you guys in one of our streams while we grind Iron Banner this week. If nothing else, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.